Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Lenovo Smarter Stories. I'm your host, Jo-Ann Strauss, and today we're diving headfirst into the realm of artificial intelligence and its profound impact on our rapidly evolving world. As technology continues to reshape our lives, we're thrilled to be coming to you from GITEX in Dubai, the global stage where tech innovation takes center stage. So, buckle up, because in this episode, we're exploring the AI revolution, and who better to guide us through it than Carter, the EMEA Consumer Marketing and Territory Director at Lenovo, and Washli Woodbridge, Field CTO of ISG Meta, two visionaries and groundbreakers right here at Lenovo. I'm super excited about this conversation, so I'm going to jump right in here. Washli, you're sort of like this guru in terms of AI, and I want to firstly just thank you, both of you, for being part of this conversation, because I think this is one that our viewers are really looking forward to explore with us. Why is it such a crucial event, do you think, for Lenovo to be part of something as big as GITEX?
For us, there's no other event that lets us be connected to all of our markets. It's a big area that we want to engage with our customers. We're right from the tip of South Africa right up to Turkey. And it's one of those premium events where we can show all of the innovation that we've been working on and showing them that this stuff's real, right? It's really important for us this year to show that these things are real and tangible, and you can actually have AI today, and it's not just some fanciful thing for the future.
Very true. AI today. Claire, why is it exciting for you? You've been part of GITEX before, but you were saying earlier you're excited about it every year.
Absolutely. I think, I've done a few GITEXs over the last few years, and as Washli said, it's just an amazing platform for us to tangibly showcase our products and solutions. It's not a press release or something written down. It's actually experiencing, touching, feeling everything that we're working on that we have to offer. So it's really exciting for us to be part of it.
I was very excited because I had a chance to experience the Lenovo stand yesterday. Could you take me through it a bit? The Lenovo stand, to me, very much encapsulated how AI is part of our everyday lives.
Agreed. And so that's what was important for us. So for us, we really wanted to show throughout our customers' day how much AI is touching them as a part of every day. So whether that's the commute in the morning, whether that's getting their favorite coffee, through how continual learning is a part of their daily lives and how AI and Lenovo are helping on that. And then right through to how we're helping build smarter cities and safer cities through using AI technology. So you can come to the stand and see exactly how we pull all these things together.
Fantastic. So I like that because we spoke about it in everyday lives now, but you hear AI and sometimes people think AI is sort of separated from our lives, but we already incorporate so much of it in our lives, as you said. We'll start by demystifying AI then for our listeners and our viewers. In simple terms, what is artificial intelligence and how are we currently using it, Claire?
This is my speciality. Washli's the guru and I'm the person who tries to keep it simple. So I think, everyone's familiar with algorithms. We all know algorithms that help us with, for example, somebody suggesting a friend to us on social media or our favorite song on Spotify. And really, algorithms are the building blocks for AI. And so I think there are so many things that we already interact with, for example, like voice command prompts and digital assistants. And these are things that are already part of our everyday lives that are actually very first phases of AI. Now, I think it's going to explode and it's going to get bigger and better, but there are so many things like that we already interact with. And at the end of the day, the way that I say it in my own simple terms is it's just computers getting smarter to make our lives easier. And that's genuinely how that's why I'm so excited about it. Because I'm a mom, I'm a working mom, I've got a lot to do, and anything that can speed things up, give me more options, do things quicker and smarter, I'm all about it.
Absolutely. And to me, that's the great thing, is we're speaking about how AI works with us. And that's something I want to touch on a little bit later on in our conversation. But Washli, I want to find out from you now. Now, AI revolution, it's transforming the world rapidly. Can you give us some real-world examples of how AI has infiltrated various aspects of our lives? You spoke about it earlier, but from your more technical perspective, how can you tell us?
I think it's interesting because I think there's very simple things that we take for granted, like noise-cancelling headphones when we're all working from home, and we started with audio conferencing that was very horrible, and then it could block out the background noise. So there's very interesting AI use cases that we gloss over. But then there's the really exciting stuff like autonomous vehicles, being able to actually detect rare diseases through looking at, medical imagery. So I think it's quite a continuum, and it really is touching every part of our lives.
I actually had a look at a news broadcast last night about the Dubai police now using these autonomous vehicles for surveillance, electric vehicles going about, able to identify where there might be any danger. So very interesting to be at the center of what I would say the AI revolution this week. Claire, I want to ask you now a bit more in depth. How do you see AI transforming our lives on a day-to-day basis?
So, as at Lenovo, we have our entire brand essence is about smarter technology for all. And I think the smarter part for me really summarizes it. Because I think what artificial intelligence does is it uses our behaviors, it uses how we interact with things to predict more behaviors and more interactions and to sharpen that. And so if, for example, I'm a little bit of a shopaholic, I'm not going to lie, and, if a PC and a computer using artificial intelligence to see what I've liked in the past, to recommend things to me and predict future behavior, that makes my life it just makes my life easier. And I think, anything that can be more efficient, everybody is so busy these days, we've got so much to do, and anything that can make that consumer journey a little bit sharper and more focused and individualized, I think is incredible.
Claire, it sounds like that personal assistant we all really dream of having AI as a part of your day-to-day. But I want to find out here, and this to me is an important consideration, is human interaction still necessary for AI to work?
Absolutely. I think it's AI as a starting point, but there has to be that human interaction. And I'll give you an example. We've started dabbling into using artificial intelligence in marketing. And so, for example, we have programmed, we've put in a program and said, can we have a whole bunch of images for a certain marketing campaign? 50% of the images were not 100% accurate. It was a great starting point. It saved us time up front, but there still has to be that human interaction at the end of the process to make sure that we're fine-tuning and selecting and making sure that everything is 100%. So for me, some people are maybe a little bit afraid of AI. And for me, it really is that human interaction cannot disappear. I think it cannot. And so it really is complementary. And I think the more we can see it like that, the more useful it can be.
I do like that. I think, again, you're working with both. You do need that human touch to it, and that makes AI even more personable. Lenovo has always been at the forefront of technological innovations. Ashley, can you shed some light for me on how AI is contributing to what I think is very important, the responsible use of AI?
Absolutely. So I think it's one of the core concerns at the moment is the responsible use of AI. And I think what's really important is transparency. So if we go into building these AI models, these AI technologies, open, transparent, make sure we make smarter technology for all, that's the first step to make sure that multiple people get to review and really can do that. And so internally in Lenovo, how we're making that happen is we have a responsible AI steering committee, but we're also making sure we put AI in the hands of everyone. So this is not one company that controls all of the chatbots or one company that's the only one that can provide autonomous driving. By working with startups, by working with research universities, we're getting this technology into as many hands as possible. And a great example of that, I think, is the work we're doing in genomics. So there's a number of rare diseases that are only specific to this region that don't actually typically get detected because the technology has always been isolated to a certain part of the world. Now we have a partner called Novo Genomics who's actually now able to help parents detect these rare diseases and remove that risk from their pregnancy. So it's really working, make sure we get the technology into more hands, and this is helping us to review and make better quality decisions when it comes to the use of AI.
I really think that is such an important point, and I want to delve into this a little bit deeper. The AI revolution, we all know it presents immense possibilities, but there also are potential challenges, and let's be honest about that. Lenovo is working very hard. I want to find out how Lenovo is working hard to harness AI's power for positive change and address these concerns that we spoke about regarding AI ethics.
Sure. One of the most important things is data security and data privacy. So making sure, and that's one thing we're very passionate about, is being able to let enterprises and healthcare providers be able to teach these models, using the data, but in a very responsible way, and most importantly, secure. And I think the other important element is in conjunction with the laws of the land. So it's very important that we meet the data sovereignty requirements to make sure the data is processed in these countries. So we're doing a lot to be able to take the famous consumer products like, say, ChatGPT, but be able to let enterprises have all of those capabilities, but in a secure way within their enterprise without the risk of data security breaches or these sort of things.
It is interesting. It's sort of ChatGPT got everybody a little bit more involved in it. And so people do feel that AI is not something that only exists in these upper echelons of tech gurus, but it puts it in the hands of people. Claire, Lenovo as a tech giant often leads the way in AI innovation. How does Lenovo see AI shaping the future of customer engagement and brand experiences? And this is now particularly from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, this is obviously very close to my heart.
Yes.
I think one of the things that, historically has been a challenge for us as a marketing organization is, if our number one goal is to connect with local target audiences. And the geography that I look after is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Now, there's lots of people in those geographies that look very different from each other. And traditionally, we would do one photo shoot, and we'd have a key visual, and we would use that. And it would be relevant to some countries, and it wouldn't be relevant to others. With AI, I can do a photo shoot, and then I can replace that master visual with the ethnicity or the demographics of people in each of the 30 plus countries in our territory, so that when we're putting marketing support out there, it's absolutely connecting with the local audience. And that's our number one job to do as a brand.
Actually, I really find it so fascinating, the impact of AI on healthcare. I've noticed, though, that Lenovo is very, very focused. It's one of your brand pillars, sustainability. How does AI work in terms of sustainability?
And that's something that I'm passionate about, and that's something that I've really attracted me to join Lenovo, is what we're doing with using AI for sustainability. And there's many examples, but one of the ones that I think is a great example is making sure for fisheries, to make sure that we're not taking juvenile fish or female fish. We've actually used AI computer vision to help the fishermen to, as they're pulling in the catch, it auto detects if the fish is within the rules of size, weight, and these sort of things, and actually gives a pressurized air blast to tell them that that one needs to be thrown back over. So we're now helping with sustainable fishing as well. And there's many of those examples where we're using AI not just for efficiency or operational excellence, but really to help save the planet and really improve the world for our children, right?
Actually, I really enjoy that example, and I'm sure you can share with us many other practical examples of AI. In fact, what's your favorite impact of AI thus far?
For me, I think one of the best use cases is what I would say is the democratization of data analysts. So for me, I do a lot of operational responsibilities, making sure we're running an efficient business. And previously, we would always have to be a PhD in mathematics, or you'd have to be a programmer. Now with things like intelligent chatbots, I can actually let it go and do that work for me. So I can go and say, what are the sales forecasts for the next 3 years? I can say, what's the best use of our resources? And be able to do that without needing to be a PhD scientist, without needing to be a programmer. And we're really seeing that's democratizing a lot of things that were always held within a small part of the community. So now we have scientists that are being able to go and run their own experimentation by just asking human English questions, and then having the systems be able to go and write the code, go and analyze the data. So it's really opening up a lot of things that were not in the hands of the general public to be able to make us all a lot better, right? It's sort of our very own superhero sort of thing. It's quite interesting.
I like that, and it is so true, to democratize media, for example. That's what social media did as well, is it gave everyone a voice, not just the few in the upper echelon. So it is amazing how AI is creating a fairer society.
100%.
And just from my side, something came to mind as you were talking. I think banking is a big one, and fraud detection. I think with artificial intelligence, I don't know about you, but every time I see that fraud alert come up on my phone, I'm like, oh, goodness me. And I think, criminals are getting cleverer and cleverer. But I think with artificial intelligence, the programs that they can use to see patterns in data and detect when someone's using your credit card in the wrong way, in the wrong place, at the wrong time, I think that's really helpful to, it's a day-to-day thing that we'll all benefit from.
And that's a perfect example. So before, that would always be tucked away in your risk management team. Now, anyone with a smart idea that says, I think this is how fraud is happening, can go and pose the question, and the systems are now intelligent enough to be able to provide that analysis. So you're sort of closing that loop without having to always rely on one person. So you're sort of getting the benefit of your whole organization versus just a few individual people.
Very true. Wow. I didn't actually think about it, but it is so true, the various impacts. I mean, I think about the fraud detection. Maybe AI could even tell you you've got a bit of a shopping problem if you're constantly getting your notifications.
That's too far, Jo-Ann.
Okay, AI, don't. Some things we'll leave unsaid. Okay, I want to stay with you here. And actually, I mean, I'd love to hear your input on this as well. As you both continue to craft your own Lenovo Smarter Stories, how do you envision AI contributing to your personal and your professional journey leading into the future?
Obviously, in marketing, I think one of the things that I spend hours and hours doing is presentations.
100%.
And, whether it's putting the presentation together, looking for the images online, cutting the background out of the images, all of this stuff takes hours and hours out of my day. And with artificial intelligence, that can be done on my behalf. I could leave the computer to put in a few prompts, and it can actually take care of that to a large degree. What we were speaking about before, though, there's always that human element, right? So I'm going to come back at the end, and I'm just going to make sure that everything looks perfect, and it's the way that I would deliver the presentation. But those hours of, admin, that I can actually clean that off my plate. So that, for me, things like that really, really excite me.
Yeah, too many different ways. So for me, language translation's a huge thing.
Oh, yes.
We operate in 165 markets. We receive RFPs and tenders, and normally that's been a week of delay to get it translated because from a compliance point of view, we've got to see it in English. So now we can do that automatically. So that's getting my team back in front of customers to have conversations to help them solve these problems versus sitting in the office and having to translate Arabic to English or Afrikaans to English. So I think that one's one interesting thing. Presentation, 100%, you have a vision of that one lovely image you want, and then you spend your whole day on stock footage websites. Now I can just ask it to design that exact image. So it's certainly making our lives a lot more efficient again.
To me, the exciting thing about AI is freeing up the time. We spoke about family time. You don't have to spend hours doing the presentation. You can go out and kick a ball or whatever it is that the kids want to do. But AI in education, that's something that's super exciting. And we're only beginning to see the first traces of how that would positively impact our children's education.
Yeah. Look, I think we've been through this before, just in different ways, right? So if you take yourself back to when we were at school, I mean, I didn't have a cell phone when I was at school, and a tablet and all of that good stuff. Whereas kids these days, like my daughter's 8 and she has a tablet, and she doesn't understand when the wrong song comes up on Spotify. She's like, what is happening? Like, something's broken, They grow up in a different world. And I think kids are also really busy. You said we're busy. My daughter's schedule is insanity. And I think if we have AI that can help with efficiency and tasks, not only for us, but also for our kids, I think they're going to grow up and hopefully have a better balance of things. And I think that's my wish. And I truly believe that AI actually can enable that sort of lifestyle balance, for the generations to come. And I think that will be something that we maybe didn't benefit from as much as they could.
Yeah, and I think, we talked about digital natives, right? Now I think you're just going to be living in the realm of AI natives. And just like half the jobs we've probably had, we didn't think about when we were kids. I saw one of the most popular job postings on LinkedIn now is for a thing called a prompt engineer.
Yes.
And they're the experts at knowing exactly how to talk to these models. So I think it's just going to be a change in job roles, but there's just going to be more around how to get the best out of AI, what's the best way to interact with AI, and that's going to create a whole number of new jobs, new careers, new occupations, whatever you want to call it. I think that's going to be a part of our children's future.
I think in the next 5 years, AI is not going to be a thing. It's just going to be life. That's how we're going to operate day to day, And I think one of the things personally I'm looking most forward to is autonomous vehicles. Like the amount of time I spend stuck in traffic, and if I can get my car to drive itself and I can be doing other things while I'm on that journey in my own car, I'm counting the seconds until that can be a reality.
For me, I don't even know where it's going to go. If you think in January, we didn't even know what ChatGPT is. Within a few months, it's got 200 million users, and every day we're getting new and new capabilities. So I think it's just going to be exciting to watch and see how it improves all of our lives.
So I can hear that both of you are embracing AI, but I do want to find out, and this I think is very important. Do you have any apprehensions about AI going into the future?
Honestly, my biggest apprehension is knowledge. I'm scared that I don't know enough about it and it's changing so fast and how to keep up. So, I'm doing a lot of reading. I'm trying to keep up with everything because it's so new. And not even that new, because it's actually already part of our lives, but it is changing and evolving. And my biggest fear, honestly, is how I keep on top of all of that and how I'm aware of all the things that can really make my life easier, better, faster, etc. That is my biggest fear.
No real apprehensions, but I think it's important that we don't create a society of haves and have-nots. So I think Lenovo, with our mission of smarter technology for all, as long as we can make sure there's equitable access and everyone on the planet gets access to these capabilities, I think we'll be in a good place.
And that's where the for all part comes in, right? Because that is our mission as a brand, as a company.
Absolutely.
And so that is definitely what we're striving for.
I want to stay on the better technology for all that we were speaking about. Any other applications? Because I'm getting so excited when you spoke about the fishing application. There are so many incredible ways in which AI can make our lives easier.
I'm going to disappoint you. This is probably not going to solve world hunger, but one thing that I'm passionate about is motorsports. And so all of the aerodynamics for all of the sort of tier 1 premier motorsports competitions, that's all now designed virtually. So we don't have to build models and test them and then throw all of that out and then test again. We're able to build those in a virtual world, test how they're going to race on the racetrack, and then make more exciting experiences for fans. So to make sure that the racing's closer, to make sure that it's safer. So I mean, maybe that's just a personal thing, but I think that's really another interesting place that we're seeing this sort of technology.
What I've also seen in terms of, okay, again, we're not solving world hunger yet, but I did see also applications where AI is used to determine whether crops are having disease and helping to spread that. I actually did a conference with macadamia nut farmers, and I found that interesting also, how AI is actually helping to solve world hunger. So these applications just keep on improving and improving.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really seeing. So before, we always used to, a lot of what my job is to help enterprises help their customers.
Yes.
And so to your point, it always used to be about what's a use case. So they would come to Lenovo and say, what's a use case you can help us with? Now what we're seeing is that they're coming and we're working with them to say, what's your problem? And we can bring AI to come and solve it. So we're solving unique problems versus previously I'd say it was very much cookie cutter, cake recipe sort of approach to these solutions.
And similarly, from my side, we work with retailers who sell our devices to end customers in all of the countries that we operate in. And, I think it's exactly what you said, Ashley. I think the consumer journey of how you buy a product and what you research, and for everybody, it's different now. It's not one homogeneous way of doing it. And I think with artificial intelligence, we can make sure that we are customizing and personalizing those journeys with the data and the patterns that we are analyzing to make sure that how you shop and how I shop, it's all going to be communicated to you in the way that's relevant to you. And I think that's really exciting for us to really make that journey of how you explore and learn about and buy our products and services will be 100% tailored.
Ashley and Claire, I think what I'm seeing is that it's important that we have these conversations and we continue educating ourselves. I think we do have a responsibility there as well as the consumer and as people generally to constantly educate ourselves and also see how we can use AI to impact the world in a positive way. Again, the examples of your consumers coming to you and saying, this is something that I've been thinking of, let's work on these solutions together. I think that's, again, a collaborative world is a much better world. So Claire and Ashley, thank you so much for this conversation. I think we really had a chance to touch on so many different points and aspects of AI. So I really appreciate your time. It's been a fascinating conversation, and it's evident that AI is not just a buzzword, but a transformative force that's shaping our world. As we wrap up this episode of Lenovo Smarter Stories, I'd like to encourage our listeners to embrace AI with a curious and a critical eye. The future is exciting, and with responsible AI development, it holds the promise of a brighter and more connected world. Stay tuned for more inspiring stories of everyday heroes and the transformative power of technology in our upcoming episodes. Until then, keep living limitlessly.